So, in the meantime, Tornel, you're sitting there for a little while, and you finally hear a knock at the door, and you hear a shout saying, "Is anyone in there? We're trying to make sure there's nobody wounded."
Yes, my child, it's just me, the fortune teller. I tell fortunes and stuff.
So did you say fortune teller?
Come in and see Miss Tornel.
Says, "Oh boy, I gotta tell my friend, he really is a fortune teller."
Yeah, fortune teller. Sorry,
So-
80s SNL reference.
There's a pause and silence outside, and then you see the door start to budge a little bit, and somebody says, "Hey, this door is locked. It won't open."
One moment. The spirits have locked it. So I go unlock it.
Unfortunately, the counter is in your way, and you just try as you might, just can't get up the gumption to climb over top of the counter. You'll probably need to go around it.
Stand away from the door for a minute.
You hear the shuffling of feet outside.
And then I charge up to level 1 and I blow up the door.
Level 1 will leave a nice toasty dent in it. You'll probably need level 2.
Level 2, then.
You charge up to level 2 and burn down the door. Hear a small scream outside saying, "Oh, my everything is on fire again."
Oh no, that was the queen again. She just came. She's gone now, though. She's gone. It's all safe in here. I'm a fortune teller.
And you see a crowd of, 3 people, which constitutes a crowd in Crystalis. And they start to push their way through the door and come on in and look around and say, "Ooh, this looks like a fortune teller place to me." And so they form a nice little line in front of you. And the first one is a beardy man who says to you, "I would like you to tell my fortune."
Okay, that's $150, gold dollar things.
And he looks behind him, and a slightly older, just starting to have gray hair woman behind him sort of nods at him. He says, "Okay." He takes it out and puts it down on the counter. Says, "Please tell my fortune."
I see that you'll be coming into money soon. You'll be doing a lot of home repairs, a lot of things around the home.
Why, that's so uncanny. I do home repair for a living.
Yes, I see great fortune coming your way. You'll have a lot of work in the future.
Excellent. Thank you so much, he says.
You're very welcome, dear.
And he walks out. Still a little skeptical of the fact that you're wearing soldier armor, but he's taken in by it. The woman comes up and looks at you, and she says, "Will you read my fortune?"
Oh, honey, you come to the right place. Miss Tornel gonna help you out.
So now you're, what's her face? Jamaican.
Miss Cleo.
I was actually the whole time, but I don't do accents very well.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it comes out Hungarian.
I knew what you were going for, Christian.
Oh, thank you.
The woman comes up to you and she says, "Please read my fortune."
I see you've been through a lot of turmoil recently, but things I see will get better very soon, and you will find love in unexpected places.
Well, my husband is a builder and a repairman, so maybe I'll find love on the roof, maybe. Thank you so much.
Possibly.
Whatever floats your boat, lady.
So she thanks you and walks out. In the meantime, Zebu and Kensu and Asina are standing with their yucky shell flute in hand.
Kensu, I think you should play that.
I have to put that up to their lips, FYI. Not it.
I think Kensu should play it.
I said not it.
Oh, well, okay, Asina, can you wash it off with your sword of water?
Yes, fine.
Okay. You splash it and wash it off, and you now have a less disgusting shell flute. And a 50 experience points to Zebu for providing the medical herb, and an extra 5 to Asina for making the flute less disgusting to play.
Not me for saying not it.
I go ahead and play it because I expect that this will get me more EXP.
You play your shell flute, and it emits a noise that you don't even think is possible to come out of it. It's a very high-pitched fluty. Well, it is a shell flute, so I mean that would sort of make sense. But after a couple of moments, you hear some squawking and squeaking from outside, and you see that same dolphin that you healed, at least you assume it's the same dolphin that you healed, come back in and start splashing around and squawking at you, and it looks at you expectantly.
Now, while that's going on, I'm telling my customers that music they hear is from the spirit realm, and that's the spirits giving their full thumbs up for Miss Tornel.
Excellent. The last person who's standing in line comes up to you and is a... Actually, there are no teenagers in Crystalis. They're all people who are full-grown adults or small children. So you have a small child, the little girl with the pigtails who... was shouting at you before. And she says, "You can't fool me! You're one of those people who didn't save the village!" Very well, because now it's saved. So I guess you sort of helped. But I don't think you're really a fortune teller.
That's ridiculous. I have great connections with the spirit realm.
She says, "Yeah, we'll prove it."
Put your ass on fire! Play. I don't know whichever sword you have.
Darling, come here. I see great turmoil in your recent past. I see that in the future, one day, you will wake up and just be an adult. There will be no transitional period between child to adult. You will just be full adult.
It's like Pokemon evolution. Just one day, little girls evolving into teenagers. Do.
She says, "That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard." And she storms out on you and didn't actually pay you anything. You gave her a free fortune.
Oh.
But you did make $300 off of the couple that was there before her.
Woo!
Good work.
I'll go rejoin with the team then. Now that
Okay,
I've got money.
just as you're starting to walk out, you see the door fly open, and there's a 20-something-year-old woman with pigtails who comes in, and she says, "Sorry, I forgot to pay you." Lays down $150.
Someone must have used like a moonstone on her or something. Oh, that's terrible sounding too.
Thanks.
So, Tornel, you head back into the passageway, and you see an ice bridge already there for you, and the path either curves around to the left, toward where the dolphin was, or there's a little hole entranceway to the right that looks like it goes into a little room.
I'll just join up with the party wherever they are.
Well, you don't know where the party is.
Oh, I see. I will go down to
Funky Town?
Which way?
I was going to say
Funky
Chinatown, but
I will cross that bridge. And
Okay.
actually, I'll go into the door.
Okay. So you go into the tiny room, and Tornel, you also get 50 experience points for role-playing. And inside the little room, you see what you suspect to be the... do you have knowledge architecture by chance?
No.
Okay. Well, it looks like a small chapel that's been carved into here, and just completely finished, not really furnished, but it's very well kept and austere, except for a bright red carpet running down the center of the room, and a white marble altar adorned with a wreath of some berry-bearing plant that's a chilly, wintry blue. Otherwise, there's not really much of anything here.
I will pick up the plant thing.
Okay, you pick up the plant. Remind me what knowledge checks you do have.
I have history and geography.
You can try and roll either of those, and I'll roll both of them, and I'll come up with an answer for you if you need it.
History is 31. Geography is 27.
Okay, history will do fine. You know that historically, many people across many lands have put up certain wreaths, either hung them or placed them in more sacred spots that have been plants that have been of the useful variety. You've heard people in poisonous swamps hanging wreaths of antidote herbs on their door, so that not only is it decorative, not only is it a sign of welcome, but they can also, in a pinch, pluck it off of there and have an antidote herb to use in case they get poisoned out in the swamp. So you suspect that based on historical precedent, even though you don't recognize this particular berry that's growing here, this particular fruit, it does look like it's that same sort of idea here.
then I will pluck as many of those berries and twigs and whatever that will help me off of there as soon as I can.
You grab a handful of them. They sort of resemble the fruit of power, the oversized berries that I believe Kensu had used in the past. But again, that sort of chilly, wintry blue color, the very pale leaves and the darker but still cold blue berries. And you have 3 units of them, whatever they are.
Yay.
Yay!
I look around the room then. Is there anything else in there?
Roll a search check.
That is a 20.
20. You don't see anything else of interest in here.
Okay, then I leave.
All right, so you leave, and presumably you round the corner and find that your party is standing around with this shell flute in hand.
I go meet up with them then.
We're looking at this dolphin.
And the dolphin's sort of squeaking and squawking at you. And Tornel, this is like, the Tornel cast right now. Tornel, I'm sorry. So you hear this squeaking and squawking, but Tornel, you hear it as actual language thanks to your telepathy magic. Even without expending any magical effort, you're able to sense an impression of the creature's thoughts as it speaks, and that translates in your head into words. So you catch the end of a conversation saying, "And all my friends can help you if you want."
I do want that, Dolphin. Can you get us to that castle in the sky in some way?
As you speak, you subconsciously, telepathically translate that into his language. And he turns to you and he says, finally, someone who can understand me. Yes.
Nathaniel,
what can we do for you?
This is horrible. What you're doing right now is horrible.
I can change my voice if you like.
Against God and nature.
Well, Dolphin, I believe it might be helpful if you were to jump as high in the sky as you can, and then everything just kind of like gets sucked up in it, or is that Echo the Dolphin?
His voice suddenly drops. Says, "Yeah, I think that's Echo the Dolphin you're thinking of."
All right then. Well, what can you and your friends do to help us get to that castle then?
Sorry, that, Slash really hurt me more. I'm going to have to go through a couple different potential voices before I find something that sounds reasonably dolphin-y, that isn't completely ear-splattering to hear.
That's fine, man. I go through some voices as well.
So he says, "Sorry, what was the question again?"
What can you and your friends do to get us to that castle in the sky?
Oh, well, it's actually a tower. It's the floating tower in the sky. It's not actually a castle in the sky.
A little renovation.
It's a different movie altogether.
He says, "Well, anyhow, I have a couple of friends who are out there, and we can provide transportation for you. I mean, there's plenty of space. You can ride on our backs as long as you don't fall over, and we can take you around. There's actually a bunch of places to see. You're just at the side of the Angry Sea here in the little cave, but there's plenty to see. I mean, you could... visit the lovely island of Joel. It's got a quaint little village with wonderfully friendly people. And there's the mysterious Evil Spirit Island, which holds many dangers, but it also holds a small settlement of hardworking people who are trying to make the island more habitable, growing all sorts of helpful plants that I'm sure will provide all sorts of medicines and all sorts of wonderful things for people. And there's also a small island with a magical altar on it, so a couple places you could go visit. I don't know that I could actually get you up to this tower, but, maybe you could find some clues one of those other places."
That sounds great, Dolphin. What is your name, Dolphin?
Oh, well, actually, allow me to introduce myself. And he makes some noises and brings in some other dolphins. There are 3 other dolphins look exactly like him. And he introduces his friends first and then himself last. He says, "We are Lairfin, Kerfin, Mofin, and I'm Shemfin. Pleased to make your acquaintance."
Nathaniel, I hate you. I hate you with every fiber of my being right now. You are the worst person that has ever lived, and I am dumber for having heard you make that joke.
You're obnoxious.
You asked for their names, and
I didn't!
Not you. You by association with your partner.
Sorry.
He says, "But you can call me Dolphin."
I'm sorry, my husband's a jerk.
Well, then where should we go, gentlemen?
That's part of the reason you married me. Because I'm a jerk.
But in the general sense, I don't like it when you're a jerk specifically to people.
So I can just be a jerk to inanimate objects?
Yep.
I am not an inanimate object.
Yep, have fun yelling at the couch.
Oh, by the way, I relay all of this to everybody else and let them know I can actually talk to dolphins.
Yeah, meanwhile, I mean,
case.
everybody you're adventuring with knows that you have this telepathic ability to communicate with animals and dwarves, which are qualified as animals in this world for some reason. And they're just standing there listening to you squawk and squeak at them. And it's just, actually, no, you're speaking in your normal language. The dolphins are interpreting it as squawks and squeaks. So, but they're standing.
So do the dolphins speak human then?
No, the dolphins squawk and squeak back at him, and he understands what they're saying. So it's sort of like talking to Chewbacca in Star Wars.
And I'm Han Solo.
So can I ride around on a dolphin then?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and hop on. You can take 10 on your ride check. I mean, they don't have dolphin saddles, but you can take 10 on your ride check as long as you're not being threatened to just ride them normally and take a calm, leisurely pace across the angry sea.
Now, where does everyone think we should go?
Yeah, where should we go? We got. I mean,
pick an island. Go there. We'll go back.
I've heard great things about Evil Spirit Island. I mean, everyone has been talking about it. You guys want to go to Evil Spirit Island?
Do we want to go to that nice town, take a little nappy, get our life and magic back, and then go to Evil Spirit?
That's true.
I like naps. I like naps a lot.
Yeah, I think I used all of my MP healing people in the town.
The dolphin says, well, actually, if you're looking for a nice place to rest, probably the best place to go is Joel. Because Evil Spirit Island, there is a settlement there, like I said, but you need to go through some funky cave. I mean, I've never been in there because I'm just a dolphin, but I've heard people who tell stories about the terrible monsters in there, and then finally you get to the town. But anyhow, Joel is really easy to get to, easy on, easy off the ocean way. So you can just pop in right in there. And they have a really friendly innkeeper.
Man, this guy's just squawking up a storm.
Tornel, are you automatically relaying all of this to everybody?
Yes, but at the end I'm adding that he also said that I'm awesome.
Alright, so I guess we're going to Joel? That's a yes.
Sure.
Yes. Yes, we are.
All right. So you you hop on, and you're starting to ride, and you're out into the open sea, and it's wonderful. The sun is shining. The floating tower is high in the sky, a little bit northwest of where you are, and you're headed in that general direction. And you've got just sea spray on you. Off in the distance, you can you see a couple of ocean creatures milling about. You look like there's some little guys. They're sort of blurry from where you are, but it kind of looks like they have tridents in their hands that they're sort of floating around. You can see a giant oversized squid just sort of chilling in front of places here and there. And you can hear a couple of seagulls overhead. And it's just a very nice, pleasant way, except the waves are really angry. They're really rough. And so you are shaking a little bit. You're taking 10 is fine, but if you need to do anything more than just get from A to B, it may be a little bit of a problem for you. And you are on your way to Joel, and you're heading out from location 4 currently. And, however, just as you're leaving the cave, before you get out there, Kensu, you hear a tiny snap, and the love pendant that you had been wearing, that Asina had given you as a token of her apparent love for you and your jerkiness, as she's expressed, snaps and plummets into the water below. And Asina, you see this happen as well.
It's cool. I broke up with him.
Wow, it's harsh.
It is, but
Tough love.
I don't feel that he's worthy of my love anymore.
Watch out, ladies. Kensu's back on the market.
What's up, baby? I'm like a rich fortune teller.
Wanna go on a date?
I was talking to Kensu.
Oh, no.
Oh! Oh, snap!
So I take it you do not care about the locket, and it drowns in the watery depths of the cave.
Is there anything magical in it?
It is a magical locket that, as I'm recalling without looking at the character sheet, gives Kensu +1 to a couple of different actions when he's within 30 feet of Asina.
+1 to saves around Asina.
So, clearly not of that much importance.
Really?
I didn't even remember to use it.
So, it drowns. It drowns a watery death. And you're out of the cave. And you start progressing. So, you come out of the cave, and again, big, large sea. You see a couple of big rock formations. They are islands, but they are particularly rocky, and it looks like you're only seeing caves as the only way actually in or out. So it doesn't look like there's any buildings or anything on top of the islands. It's just perhaps in through a cave somewhere. So you come out of the cave, you swing around west and then suddenly north and then to the east, and you start heading towards an island that has a little outcropping with a lighthouse on it, which isn't lit. I mean, it's middle of the day and you don't see anybody around it, but you're heading off east in that direction. Roll a listen check, everyone.
12.
12?
I got 25.
25. Tornel, how about you?
23.
Okay, 25 and 23 are good. And everybody roll a spot check as well.
17.
Wait, what was it? Spot check?
Spot check.
I got 16.
Okay. So you hear it before you see it. It sounds like some sort of hooting and hollering and grunting and grumbling at a distance, coming up behind you. Actually, a little south of you. You're heading east. It's coming from south of you. And you start to look, and you hear the grumbling and the growling start to get louder and louder. And then you can finally see some blurry something or other in the sky. You can't quite make out what they are, but there seems to be this mass of something flying through the air in your direction. And as it gets closer, you can hear the grunting and the growling a little bit larger, and you can start to make out the shapes of an army of shaggy green Sasquatches hitching a ride on a fleet of whirling Medusa plants. And Tornel, now that they're close enough that you can actually start to make out some of what they're saying, it sounds like they're out to seek revenge for the Thundering One slaughtering their brethren. And they grow closer, and you see a couple of axes thrown from the dangling Sasquatches land in the water near you. Everybody roll for initiative.
20.
Nathaniel, really?
Yes, really.
Really? You're the worst.
13.
The worst kind of person.
8.
9.
Ooh, doing well here. So, Zebu, were you the highest?
Yeah.
Okay, what was your number again?
20.
Okay. And then who's after that?
I was 13.
13.
Was
Okay.
Was that actually next?
Yes, that is actually, unfortunately, next.
You poor saps.
All right, and after that, it was it Asina first and then Kensu?
No, I got an 8.
Okay, the other way around. Okay. So the approaching monsters get to go first. So you start seeing this flurry of axes. There's too many of them to count right now. You could probably count if they weren't swirling around on these Medusa heads that were flying in at you, and you could probably count them if you weren't too busy also trying to ride your dolphin at the same time. So the first batch of these monsters starts to launch their axes at Kensu, and they're still a little bit too far away, so they're taking a distance penalty on it. But one of them does manage to get through and hits Kensu for just 7 damage. It's a glancing blow. Now it's Zebu's turn.
I'm going to say that sometime in between the last battle and this battle, I switched back to my wind sword.
Okay.
Let's see. That is a... Oh, I'm going to charge up. I got a 19 for my attack.
Okay.
Where's my 8?
19 is a hit. What? You're just aiming for the blob that's descending on you?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, are they pretty much not close enough to really see them?
Yeah, you still can't quite differentiate distinct targets yet, but you're getting close. Right now it's just this mass of shaggy fur and plant tentacles.
Oh, yeah, I think I'll aim for, like, the center, try to break them up.
Okay.
And I do 9. 9.
Okay, you do that, and you hear a little bit of a grumble above all of the other grumbles, and the next group goes and starts throwing more axes at Kensu. You now have all of these axes just splashing into the water in front of you. And the dolphins they're sort of cool with this. You can see them sort of starting to hum a little dolphin battle tune for you. Tornel, go ahead.
Is there a range to my mind control?
If they're within visible range, if you can clearly make out a target, they're within range.
Okay, so I can't clearly make them out yet, right?
No, next turn, though, you should be able to.
All right, then in this time I will charge up my sword.
Okay.
How far away are they, actually?
I am absolutely terrible with actual distances, but they're closing pretty quick.
The throwing increment for like an axe is like 10 feet.
They're taking severe penalties, which is why they're constantly missing.
Also, they're up in the air.
It's like if they're 100 feet away, that's minus 10.
Well,
right, which is why they're missing. So we will say, for purposes of this exercise, that they are 100 feet away. They have very strong arms to hurl their axes at you, and they are missing terribly, except for the one who rolled very well and actually hit you.
And I think we also need to take into account fly checks for the guys throwing, because, I mean, they're getting jostled around by Medusa plans.
The guys throwing aren't actually flying. They're just hanging on. So they are successfully gripping onto the side. And these Medusas have excellent maneuverability and a very good fly speed. So they actually remain very stable. The head tentacles are spinning around like crazy, but the body is actually staying quite well in place. Quite balanced.
Whose turn is it now?
It's mine.
Yes, it's Tornel. So you said you're charging up?
Yes, charging up. It's 28 to hit.
That is a hit.
And 12 damage.
And that's just a level 1 shot?
Let me see. I'll make sure I went with the right information. Yeah.
Okay, good. And additionally, Zebu and Tornel, because you're launching your level 1 wave, that actually travels through multiple enemies. So you're hitting more than one guy with each shot.
Oh.
So Tornel, you launch and you fire, and you really can't tell from here, but it doesn't look like any of them are starting to light up on fire, although the one Medusa head that your shot fires through does seem to dip a little bit. So you said, what, 12 damage?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Now, you got some more axes coming in at you. So all of these are still going in the general direction of Kensu and just falling completely short. And another round of them. Oh, that one goes through. And so you have another axe coming at you, Kensu, for 10 damage. And it's Kensu's turn.
Oh, this is interesting. There are a few different things I could try here. I could jump into the water and turn into a dolphin and therefore not be Kensu anymore.
Actually, you're still the queen.
Then how do they know, Nathaniel?
I'm just saying.
Nathaniel.
They can smell you. They tracked you earlier when you weren't looking, and they can follow your scent.
So, okay, they are downwind of me on the ocean.
Yep.
They didn't necessarily start tracking you on the ocean. They may have been following you while you were still in Portoa and could more easily pick up your scent, and then followed you through the cave onto the other side.
Are they coming from the shoreline, or are they coming from the opposite direction?
They're coming from the shoreline toward Portoa.
Alright, I charge up 2 levels.
Okay, you're charged up 2 levels. Asina.
I charge up 2 levels as well.
Okay, good. And it's back to the first round of monsters who are now 50 feet away. And also attacking Kensu. Both of those, wonderful, hit. All of these actually hit. Just barely, 2 of them with the penalties. So you've got some damage coming in your way. You've got 30 damage coming your way from a bunch of axes flying at you.
Alright.
Zebu.
Can I discern different targets at this point?
Yes, now you can.
Okay, I'm going to try to aim specifically for a Medusa head.
Okay. Oh, and just to give you a better idea of numbers now, there is still this massive cloud dragging behind, but this is sort of like the advanced scout party that's reached you now. Okay. So you've got 4 Medusa heads, each of whom has 4 furry Sasquatch men dangling from them with one arm.
Yikes.
Pulling axes out of their fur with the other.
Yikes. I'm going to shoot at a Medusa head. I got 19 from my attack roll.
All right, pick your targets. You got 1, 2, 3, or 4. It looks like you had been attacking number 2 previously. Tornel had hit 3.
I'll go for number 2 again.
All right.
Does 19 hit?
19 does hit.
Okay, and I did 6 damage.
Okay, you're shooting at the Medusa head. You pass through 2 of the Sasquatches as you get there. It just seems to slide right around the Medusa head, but it does go through the 2 shaggy Sasquatches, and they seem to twist in pain a little bit.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry, how much damage did you say?
6.
6 damage. Good. All right. And that's done. Now it's their turn to fire back on you.
Thanks.
So 2 of them take aim at you. The other 2 take aim at Kensu. One of them completely misses, and the dolphin you're riding on just squawks a little at them. And another one does manage to hit you with 5 damage.
Me?
Yes.
Oh.
And then Kensu, the other one actually misses you. So you're still good. Tornel.
Can I charge up to level 1 and then create a wall of steam by hitting the water and make their accuracy take a hit and maybe...
Oh, clever. Because it's only a level 1 charge, it will be a small wall of steam that'll only last a round. But yeah, I can give you a little bit of concealment.
I'll charge up to level 2.
Okay, you charge up to level 2. And it's back to some more monsters who are throwing some axes at Kensu and not hitting very well. The next group fires again and demands new dice. That one hits. So, Kensu, you now take 9 damage from an axe to the cheek. Kensu, your turn.
Okay, charge once, and I'm going to unleash holy lightning hell upon these things.
Okay.
Let's see here. Gonna kill these things, they're gonna require flight checks to stay on board or else the fall.
Actually, before you do that, everybody ride checks.
Ride checks.
Because I completely forgot that as you're in combat here, you should be rolling ride checks. So a ride check all around for everybody.
Can I roll again? Got a 6.
I'll take these into effect at the start of your next round.
I got a 6.
Okay. You will be falling off your dolphin at the start of the next round. Tornel?
12.
12. You will also be falling off your dolphin, though not as bad. Kensu, Asina?
15.
15. You will just barely manage to stay on your dolphin. Asina?
15 too.
Okay. You will just manage to stay on your dolphin.
All right.
But we'll get there. Go ahead.
All right. 19. Possible crate. Come on, random number generator. Let's go. Boosh. 7. Wait. Does 7 plus 14 hit?
Yes.
Sweet. All right.
So you have a critical hit on your hands.
Yeah. So let's see. 48. That's 6. 40 damage.
All around. The initial scouting party in front of you, well, you can describe their deaths.
That's how I describe their deaths.
I used my level 2 sword of water that I charged up but didn't get to do anything with to knock him off his dolphin.
Roll the hit.
You have to make a ride check.
Oh, she made her ride check already.
18.
Besides, that doesn't take effect till next turn. So what's your to hit, Asina?
Oh, for a level 2 sword, I get an attack bonus of plus 10, so 18.
18 is not quite enough to hit Kensu, unfortunately.
That's right, because he got that shield and
Does it distract him at all? So somebody else can knock him off his dolphin?
I'm swimming right now.
You don't happen to have a handle animal check, do you?
Oh, I mean, I can make one.
Yeah, go for it. You can roll a handle animal check to, with your intonation and your body language, try and give the hint to the dolphin that he's riding on to help shake him into the line of your sword?
That is a 21, sir.
That dolphin winks at you and knows exactly where it's at. He shakes Kensu just enough to add +1 to your attempt to hit him. And Kensu, you get smacked with a big splop of water. Roll for damage, please, Asina.
10 damage.
10 damage to Kensu from your former lover. And it's fitting that your love pendant went to the bottom of the ocean because now both of you are all wet.
Yep.
Okay. The advanced scouting party has been explodified, and the other backup batch there is sort of swirling around, and you can hear, Tornel, some grumbling, a little bit of powwowing back there of whether or not it's worth it to continue. And you hear them arguing, saying, "Oh, but he wiped out most of our people. We need to exact revenge." And the other ones are saying, "It's really not a big deal. We'll just respawn in a couple of minutes."
Quite, indeed.
As soon as, if they decide not to attack us, as soon as we're out of combat, I start helping people back onto their dolphins. I'm not a complete monster.
Okay, so the one rogue group splits off as the rest of them seem to agree to retreat, and they shout at you some obscenities that can't actually be translated into your language. But you do have one rogue group that comes ramming at you, charging at you at ramming speed. So roll a reflex save, Kensu. Because now you have the single Medusa head with the 4 shaggy guys hanging off it that is actually going into a full-out spin of the rest of its body, so that you have your shaggy green men with their axes held out who are whirling around as they approach you at dangerous speeds.
Yikes.
Alright. Reflex save.
Is Kensu in the water currently?
Did
he get
actually,
knocked off,
roll an opposed strength check to see if you fell into the water, if you got knocked into the water, because that was Asina's intent. So Asina, roll a strength check, and Kensu as well.
Alright, blur, strength check. What's my strength? Alright, I got an 18 on the strength check.
11.
Okay, so you were not knocked in the water, but you still took some damage. So, that reflex save, please.
Blurb. Let's see, 15 plus my modifier is 22.
22 is exactly the number to beat. So you only take half damage, because I don't believe you have any abilities or feats that let you avoid all damage. But you do mostly dodge out of the way, but you still get slashed by this whirl of fur and axes and Medusa head things, which results in just 14 damage to you, but also give me a balance or a ride check to not fall off your dolphin as they sweep past you.
Oh my god. Freaking Dex. Let's see, what's better? Balances. Well, no, they're equal. Alright, let's see. 15.
15 is not sufficient. The force of the attack and the wind sweeping by you is enough to knock you into the water. Sploosh. And Zebu and Tornel, almost in sympathy, fall off their dolphins at the same time. So now Asina is on her high horse, or her high dolphin, as everyone around her just slides into the water. And your batch of monsters flies off and rejoins the group.
I start helping people back onto their respective dolphins.
Hey.
Even Kensu.
Can we go to Joel now?
In just a second.
Kensu, I blame you for
How much
this.
do I get for massacring what was left of the Medusa things and the Yeti?
What's that?
How much experience do I get for completing my genocide of the Yeti people?
You don't actually get any, but the rest of your party, because you were so kind to donate it to them, gets 1,200 experience points.
What?
And that's each. It's sort of like Paper Mario. After fighting the same couple of enemies for a while, you just can't get any more experience from them, and you need to move on to the next area. So you've already put in your time on these chumps, so it's up to
Over
you.
half my hit points and damage.
And it was a noble sacrifice to give up those experience points to your teammates who are so desperately behind.
Thank you.
It's not my fault they decided not to commit genocide.
Hey, you're still ahead.
Yes.
And the many, many monsters in the scouting party that you explodified showered the ocean with coins, dollar coins, mind you, that are now spinning gently on the surface of the water, ripe to be plucked up.
Coins don't float, Nathaniel.
These coins do.
Yeah.
Because they do in the game.
Yeah.
Gold dollars are hollow.
All right, then.
And also remarkably buoyant, because they are bouncing in water.
And that looks like you have 320 gold altogether.
Great.
So someone keep track of that and or divvy it up amongst everybody.
Just 328?
Yes.
That's 82 per person?
I've just been keeping track of the total, and currently I have 1796 total for splitting amongst everybody, since we've never actually done it.
Okay, works for me. There's something to be said for having a party fun.
Yeah. So the dolphins squawk at each other and congratulate you and say, "Oh, very well done. We wish we could wield swords and set things on fire." And
Dolphins so much.
so they take you and they land you on a sandy shore that goes up a short distance into a cave. And they say, "Well, here you are. Here is Joel. And if you ever need us, you have that shell flute, so you can just blow a little whistle, and we will be back for you."
You do know how to blow, right? You know how to whistle, don't you?
Yikes.
So they wave their flippers at you, and then they swim back off into the ocean. And the way is open for you to enter Joel. And as you walk into the tiny village, you find, unsurprisingly, because you accidentally murdered them all, that no one is there.
Is the inn still there?
The inn is still there. But we'll pick that up next time.
Hooray, we made it.
Yes.
Free lodging.
And
Best town ever.
yay, an additional 150 experience points to everybody for getting across the sea and getting to a place where you can rest.
Hey.
Hooray. You know, I rolled a 16 and I never got to use it.
Oh no! An evil sea monster pops its head out as you're walking in.
Shoot it.
Boom! You hit it with a 16.
Hooray.
Yeah, it doesn't even need to roll for damage. It just goes piff.
Oh.
All right. So
It
you
was quite evil, but not very powerful.
So that is that.
Next time on the Game Cola D&D cast, a race across the angry sea against bad guys riding dolphins who've fallen asleep. Be there!